Right, I'll make a prediction right now. You are sat in a middle bracket in your life, something that I used to call purgatory, but I've realized that when you come up with these terms, as great as they are, like the male advantage, it doesn't reach the mainstream. And it's something that I want to do because I want to reach more men with this idea. Because the more men that realize this, the more men that are going to end up being successful. You're in this middle bracket right now, between spaces. That's why I called it purgatory, because purgatory basically means nothingness. You are in between success and failure. You're coming from failure. You didn't have a good start to life. You didn't have successful parents. Things weren't given to you. Life wasn't easy. And the current friendship group that you have, you're starting to realize actually, or maybe you've realized already, they're not good enough. They're not what you want out of life. And it doesn't mean you cut them off. I actually think people are rude when they cut their day one friends off. But you start to realize that the more time that you spend with these individuals, the less likely you probably are to be successful. So you've reached a point mentally where you have to break away. You have to break away from old habits. You realize that as much as you like watching porn, as much as you like masturbation, you can't do it anymore. As much as you'd like to eat shit food, you realize, I can't do it anymore. As much as you realize you would like to hang out with your day one friends, and you would like to mess around and crack jokes all day, you realize that that isn't actually going to get you to the next phase of life. The actual part of life that matters. The stage of life that every single man can start building his kingdom in. And I'm talking about when you've got the beautiful woman, the wife, the kids. You've got the house, you've got the cars, you've got the empire, you're traveling the world. You've taken it from enjoying a football match on TV, playing video games, to driving your expensive car around the Amalfi Coast with your wife and kids and enjoying a $5,000 holiday. It's a tier above that can't be cheated on. And that's what so many guys don't understand. You're currently in that bracket where you're trying to bridge from where you currently are to where you want to be. And it's a serious issue because, as I've said to you guys before, if you are the first guy in your friendship group or one of the earliest guys your age to realize this message and to wake up sooner, you're going to struggle drastically because you're the only one who's crossed that line. You're the only one who's mentally crossed that space. And you're sat there thinking to yourself, nobody gets me. Nobody understands me. I'm trying to achieve something more and I'm not a bad person. It's not that I hate you guys. It's not that I don't want to see you anymore. It's that I just need more and what you offer isn't congruent with what I'm trying to achieve. I'm sorry, mum. I'm sorry, dad. I'm sorry, brother, sister, whatever it might be. I love you to pieces, but your mindset isn't congruent with the life that I am trying to achieve or I'm trying to get to. I know I have to jump at a certain path or I have to put my mind in a certain level, a certain frequency that isn't matched by the environment and the world around me. And this leads to social isolation. Everyone was calling me weird when I was younger. Everyone was wondering why I was sat in the garage on my own or in my room on my own on a Saturday night, Sunday morning, every hour that you could ever imagine. And people couldn't understand why I didn't want to socialize. They used to say, why doesn't he have a girlfriend? He's 22 years old. What's the matter with him? Why doesn't he want to go out and enjoy himself? Because I just realized pretty early on that it was a complete waste of time. I realized that it wasn't going to serve me best. I realized that everyone around me didn't want the same things that I wanted. And you know, one thing that they lacked was the future vision. I've always had this ability to see things before they happen. I'm doing it right now. I told you guys about Synthetics crypto token as well. That thing, I bought that thing at 0.36. It went up to just shy of £2, literally a couple of days ago. I told you guys about Solana. I told you guys what would happen in this industry. I told you guys how many of these gurus would get arrested and how it would be the downfall for so many of them. I see things very early. I've seen how London is collapsing. London is pretty much Man United Football Club, where it's not a great situation to be in right now. It's not a great organization. It's suffering, but it's being held up by its old school reputation and it's still in place. It's just living off what it was, the infrastructure, but it's slowly dying and I'm on the inside and I can see it happening. So You get out now and you move early, you act early. You don't sit around to wait for the world to change you. You act now. You go and take those chances when you can. Because here's a life lesson for you guys. If you're in the purgatory stage and you're thinking, do you know what? I want to go and get my friends back again. I want to be surrounded by my social life. I actually miss everybody. Here's what's going to happen. I'll give you a story. I worked in Pizza Planet when I was around about 18, 19. I was a delivery driver. It got to the point where my best friend died in a car accident and I was just sick of normality. That's when it hit me. Like those things that are negative in your life, they're actually the catalyst to put you on a path to greatness. And that's why, as bad as they are, you have to be grateful for them. That's why, as bad as it is to say, I said that I actually enjoyed the time period when my dad was dying of cancer. Because I had a routine, it recentered my brain, and it made me realize what I actually wanted in life. It was an inevitability that he was going to die, but if you can take a positive from it, it was the fact that I was able to sit there and recenter my life and realize what I was going for. That's the beauty of purgatory, being on your own, but everyone's afraid to do it. But when I was at Pizza Planet, all of this drama happened. My friend died. It hit me like a ton of bricks, and I realized we're not going to live forever. Mortality is a real thing. And I learned that young, and most people, it takes them till their mid to late 30s to figure this one out. And that's why so many guys are just going out partying, 24, 25, 28, 30, 32, 35. And then one day it hits them. Maybe there's a death in the family and they realize, I actually need to change my life. We're not here forever. This is actually going to end at some point. And it hit me. And I went to all of the delivery drivers and I said, I'm thinking of leaving. I think I'm going to get another job. I'm going to go somewhere else. They all convinced me otherwise. They all said, don't leave, don't go. It's all of us together. It's us four in a team. I said, okay, I'll agree. I gave in to the peer pressure and I continued on with the job and I didn't bring it up again for 3 months until it was me and one other delivery driver that was still there 3 months later. And he said, I've just handed in my notice. I'm leaving. So after hearing the news of me wanting to leave, everyone went and took action and left anyway, even though they told me not to do it. That is the nature of people. And that doesn't mean that people are bad. It doesn't mean that people are going to drag you down. It's just the nature of humans. People want you to do well, but never better than them. And if they see you moving earlier than they have, and they see that you're showing a level of ambition that they haven't showed yet, they're going to try and do it before you do it. They're going to change who they are. That's their catalyst. Seeing that you're making a move, they're going to go. So when you put yourself in purgatory, never forget, and purgatory is a good thing. You're in it right now. It's a good thing. But I want to get you out of it because that's where life is lived. But never forget when you're in purgatory that silence, that time on your own is recentering. It will put you in a mindset that will get you to where you need to be. And I had this idea. I would listen to, not a good example now, but I would listen to Ty Lopez and Joe Rogan every single day. And as much as people are saying about Ty now being a criminal, he had some good advice and he was making money and it was better than the conversations I was having with other people around me. And just listening to these guys every single day on repeat and just locking myself in my bedroom, reading books on repeat, I was able to create an environment that was congruent with what I was trying to achieve. That was the only thing that I was letting into my mind. My mind was a fortress. My room was a fortress. That garage was a fortress. And I was only letting in people who were more successful than me, who were where I wanted to be in life. And I silenced all the other noise. And everyone said I was weird for it, but it was the best period of my life. Now, this meant no women. This meant no social life. And yes, there are negatives to that. Yes, it does drag you down. Yes, you start to feel like you just need people around you. You just feel that you need that social contact. But I knew where it was going, even though I didn't have results yet. I knew where it was going. And today's results, where I am today, shows that. It highlights it to an elite level. And I knew it was coming. I just knew if I put myself around those people, success leaves clues if you're willing to look for them. And if you sit there and you scope out what other people who are more successful than you have done, and you try and learn from that, I promise you, it might be a time delay, but eventually it's going to put you at the top. Eventually you're going to become wildly successful. And I just knew that that was the case. And that's the beauty of purgatory. That's the beauty of being between spaces where you're not successful yet. Well, I should do it in the other order. You're not successful yet, but you've left behind your old life. And you're just in this middle bracket where you're thinking, where is my life going? I can't enjoy the spoils of war yet, but I still need to get away from this area here. You just fought the big battle, you're moving forward and you can't enjoy it yet. The big battle is getting away from people. The big battle is the detachment and getting called, oh, you've changed, you're an asshole. Who do you think you are? Do you think you're better than everybody? You're weird. I got told that it was like I was in a cult and I was trying to study these things that were strange. You just have to take it on the chin, go on the path on your own. But then you end up, like I said, in this middle bracket that I call purgatory. It's a very scary time in your life because you just see, what you end up seeing as that journey unfolds is other people getting married, is friends of yours buying cars, friends of yours getting into relationships with beautiful women. And you just think to yourself, you know, the last straw was like friends buying houses, because that makes you realize that we're at house level now. And you're thinking to yourself, I've got nothing to show for it. I put every penny back into this risky business, or I put every penny back into investments, or I put all my time back into my 9-to-5 job, and I have a dream of getting to a certain level. Whether I get there or not is up to kind of the work that I put in, time and fate, and a little bit of luck sprinkled in. Perhaps the judgment of upper management. That's not a nice situation to be in because it means you're not fully in control of your own life. Now, I think along the way you should enjoy yourself. I definitely think you should enjoy yourself with the odd date. I think if a woman offers to come home with you should say yeah. I definitely think if friends want to meet and just go for a meal, you can go for an hour. It's not going to ruin your life. But it's just being around a certain level of conversation. It dilutes the brain. It gets you thinking differently. I don't consume any content. I don't consume any. I mean, I work with content creators and they say, did you watch my video? I'm like, I'll be honest with you, respectfully, I don't watch anything. I don't watch anybody. I used to watch Manchester City content, and even now I'm like, I just kind of watch the games and the highlights of the games, and I just do as small amounts as possible, because what I find is like whatever gets proposed almost never happens. It's like the news. It's the same with sports. This might happen. What if this happens? A lot of it is just kind of fictional content. There's a lot of this guy is doomed. This guy is finished. How are they going to resolve this? It's a lot of fictional stuff that didn't actually happen that you're just filling your brain with. You're filling it with pure crap. And I've just kind of stepped away from everything. I don't consume any content. I barely consumed it anyway, but I barely consume anything now. I don't go on social media. I don't even watch movies anymore. And I used to love watching movies. I just fill my brain with things that matter. And I love that type of environment, because then eventually it gets you to the promised land, which is when you finally get to a place where life matches you. So what I had was I went bold young. I wanted to be successful. I didn't want to do the whole married at 25 with 2 kids and a dog and a small 2-bedroom house lifestyle. It was killing me mentally. I didn't want to become that. And then it unfolded, and I'm 33 years old today. I'm traveling the world. I'm staying in 5-star hotels. I'm buying houses around the world. I'm running an elite business. I've got a members club, which is the elite business, with all of these members that have become my personal friends that I'm hanging out with. And now purgatory doesn't exist, because it's all these guys that are on the same journey as me, that are like-minded, that have the same goals, that want to get to the same place in life. And it's the most refreshing thing in the world. Anytime you want to have a conversation about something, there is somebody in there, or a group of individuals within the group, that will have that same ideology, that will encourage you. We have a group chat called Personal Wins. You put something in there, everybody supports you, everybody's happy for you, nobody cares if you're doing better than them. It's just a group of winners, and that's why the 1% is the 1%, because it's such a rare thing. It is such a rare thing to have those people that have that like-minded mindset, and that takes you so far. What's that quote? If you want to go quick, you go alone. If you want to go far, you go together. I've found that to be so true for my own life. I had to go into purgatory. I had to accept it. I had to voluntarily put myself into purgatory to go quick, to get out of the situation that I was in. And then it got me to a position in life where I was then able to create something where I could surround myself with winners. And people want to network with you because they know you're a fellow winner. Now, it might be your watch, it might be your car, it might be the woman on your arm, it might be the locations that you're in, the way you dress, the way you move. It might be that you have a little bit of fame or some social notoriety. People will notice, and those same individuals will gravitate towards you, and the right people will eventually find each other. The right high-level woman that you are looking for will eventually find you. And I'm telling you guys that right now, do not settle. Do not settle for somebody with a high body count. Do not settle for somebody that you don't actually want because everyone's telling you to settle down. It's pointless. I mean, you think about the phrase itself, settle down. You don't want to do that. Settle up. Aim up. Go for something better than what you thought you could have got when you were younger. Everything that you imagine in a woman, the way she dresses, moves, talks, etc., the way she operates, the way she conducts herself, keep that in your mind and go after it. Because there's a second phase of life, and it's the second phase of male life, the other side of male life that I've always spoken about. I'm living proof that I'm in it now. I went from a garage to the life that I'm living now, where I'm buying luxury properties all around the world, I'm traveling non-stop, and everything's come together. Surrounded by people that have that same mindset, that are going to encourage you on your journey, but you have to earn it, because not everyone can just walk into a group like that. Not everyone can just walk into a room of winners and sit at their table. People often ask me, how do I get investment? Do something. That's how you get investment. You don't get investment by picking up the phone and saying, hey, can I get investment? Can you give me £1 million? They're going to say, who are you? What do you do? And what's your idea? And what have you done so far? Whereas if you go out into the world and you toil and you give the blood, sweat and tears and you do what needs to be done and you get to a certain position where, yeah, you've managed to accomplish something. Yes, people are starting to recognize you. You've put points on the board. When you go to somebody and you say, can I have 5 million, please? They're going to say, do you know what? I'm actually going to entertain this because I like what you've done already and I can see that you just need money for scale. That is a much easier pitch, and that is how networking is done. That is how the beautiful woman is going to walk into your life, because you need to get to a certain point where you set your life up in a certain way that allows you to build the nest. And I'm not talking about just a house. I'm talking about the life setup, the framing, who you are, like who you've become to be able to handle that money. And you only get that from 2 different options. There's only 2 ways you gain that level of life experience and that knowledge. Number 1 is from going through it, which is the best method, but it's very time consuming. Or you find people that have already done it and you align yourself with them. That's the only other option. So my advice to you guys is to embrace purgatory. Chuck yourself into that middle bracket, isolate yourself, go alone, you'll go quicker. Or if you want to speed it up, you find a network of individuals that are on that same journey and you go through the same grind, but you're sharing the journey with other people that can give you advice, tips, they can share things. They've made 100 mistakes that you haven't made yet, so then you don't need to, because they pass the information. It's called the village effect. There's a book on this, that progress happens faster when there's a group of people all chipping in together. I mean, you look at somebody like Mr. Beast, they all congregated together every day and they would just do reviews on what videos worked, what titles worked, what thumbnails worked. When you have that level of feedback from 20, 30, 40 different people every single day, you just accelerate at a speed you've never seen before. That's the best way to manage purgatory, because you're going to go through it. You have to. There's going to be a middle bracket where you're working on things. For example, I've always said you almost somewhat have to get a little bit fat before you get sexy. Okay? Like if you want to bulk and then get lean, you're going to have to put on a little bit of weight in your face. You're not going to look as good as you normally do. It's a necessary back step, and that's what purgatory is. It's a necessary back step into darkness. And nobody wants to embrace the darkness. Nobody wants to sit in that environment and say, do you know what? I thrive here. You know, the old Bane quote when he was like, you merely adopted the dark. I was born into it. That's the way I felt at times. I felt almost, you know, warmth from that. Warmth from, I still get it now. I'm on my own in this house. I'm working on something. We've got a 1 in my trip in the next few weeks and another one that comes off the back of it. And I'm just like, these are my silent days where I get to just sit on my own. I barely talk to anybody. I go out on my own, I grab some food, I come back, I lock myself back in the house, I get my work done. It's the best moments of your life. I love it, because those moments, the purgatory moments, the middle bracket, that allows you to excel in the other side of male life bracket. When you've put everything together, it's those moments of silence, it's the boredom, it's the isolation. It really centers your brain. You cut out all the noise and the nonsense and the excess content that's not going to help you. You know, the doom scrolling, all the media that's hitting you every day that's just nonsensical, that isn't going to benefit your life in any way, shape or form. Every single toxic woman that you cut out of your life who's causing you headaches and problems. Every single family member that is giving you a negative mindset, that is saying you're wasting your time with that. I had all of these people around me. I had friends that were doing that. Silence the noise. Go monk mode. Silence everything. And just sit on your own, embrace the darkness, and wait. And then eventually the beacons will show, just like in the Lord of the Rings scene, when they light the beacons and everyone comes together and congregates in one environment, you will have the same thing. Where those beacons around the world, and there is not many of them, that's why the 1% are the 1%, they will start to light up, they will start to show, and they will show you the way. And these will come in the forms of people, they will come in the forms of opportunities, they will come in the forms of certain companies that align with what you're trying to achieve. It could even be a slice of luck, but you will see it. Like I said, success leaves clues. And when you get people with the same mindset that are aligned with you, that are all in the same environment together, results happen quickly. It's interesting. It's very interesting. When you share that knowledge, it goes very far. And you guys have that to look forward to. Right now, you're in purgatory, you're in that middle bracket, you're wondering where your life is going to go. Those individuals are out there. That group of friends that you wish to have is out there. That group of friends that encourages you and celebrates you because you approached a woman rather than laugh at you and put you down, and it turns you into the man you need to be because your confidence is now thriving. They're out there, and I know they're out there because that's my group. That's my group of friends. That's the people that I have around me, and I found them. It's out there for you guys. You just have to go through the darkness. You have to go through the dark woods. But out the other side, I promise you, is that beautiful cottage with the smoke coming out the top, the beautiful wife, the kids running around, and the daisy field outside. It's all there, and the sun is shining, and it's beautiful. I'm telling you, it's there. But it's going through those rough years and staying mentally sound while you're going through it. And doing the fundamentals every day with no sign of an end in sight. And not faltering once. Just sticking to the core fundamentals and the basics. Getting up every morning with no knowledge as to why. Nothing but a hope and a dream in the future. A glimmer of light in the far distance. And you're thinking to yourself, one day that light will get a little bit bigger and I'll get there. That's what's waiting for you guys. If you just stick to the process, focus on the inputs, keep your head down. Success isn't flashy. Wealth isn't loud. Wealth is stealth. Keep going, guys. I promise you, whether it's the gym, whether it's wealth, whether it's, and I consider the whole birth across the board, the straight 7 system as wealth. I think somebody being in shape, having nice clothes, dressing well, smelling good, having a good network around them, a good woman in their life, that's true wealth. Everything is a combination. It's all there for you. It's just a slow and steady game of being patient and finding the right people.